Hello folks, Emily the Pharmacist Witch here, and today I'd like to talk about power, movement, and the body. So for several years I was a diabetes educator and clinical pharmacist, and part of my work was counseling folks on how to manage diabetes and lose weight, and a big part of that was, I would tell folks to exercise, to move. And this felt inadequate for several reasons. The first of which is, it's a guideline directed recommendation, and that's all well and good, but for a lot of people that just isn't enough to change your life, right? Some guidelines said it would help. Okay. And it also felt inadequate because I wasn't living it myself. For several years, I just wasn't moving my own body. I felt actually very disconnected from this little physical vessel that I have here. To the point, even I remember going for a short hike with my husband and being so beaten down by it that I actually got sick to my stomach. It was a real disconnect there. Or I remember going to Disney World with my husband and my feet hurting so badly I was in tears because I just didn't have the physical stamina to do it. And so I felt, some inauthenticity in counseling folks in the importance of moving their bodies just from a personal perspective. So this is my attempt to rectify that and to give what for me I think has been a better reason to exercise and to move. And really what it comes down to for me is freedom. I was 60 pounds overweight. I was not feeling at home in my body. It wasn't feeling good. And after a great hug from a friend, I decided it was time to start loving myself a little better. And I started by exercising just 30 minutes on the elliptical every day just to get going. And it certainly helped, and it got me to a point where I could run. And that's really where I started to feel like myself again. Like I started to feel my power, my presence in the world come back to me. I like to think that we're born with some tools. We're born with that passion, that little North Star, that little soul wish that helps us figure out what we're doing here. We're born with our sense of emotion, which allows us really to evaluate our experiences. How does it feel in our body, and measure that up against that soul wish is what we're doing on the right path or not. Perhaps our emotions can help us know. Our mind for helping us manifest whatever it is that we're supposed to do here in this lifetime, and certainly to communicate with others. And then our body, our physical body here, which helps us put into the real world, into existence, whatever it is that our little North Star is telling us we've got to do here in this life. And so it's really in the physical body that I think we find our freedom. When we feel at home in our physical body, we can feel at home in the world. And so for me, running was a way in. And I found when I started running regularly, not only did I feel more present in my body, but I felt I had more energy to think, to learn, to be curious, to grow. It was this beautiful upward spiral for me that started in my body. And I think there are so many great ways that we can move. For me, it's running, but certainly that's not for everyone. That's not everybody's preference. And we do have preferences, and it's good to explore those. Some bodies really like to swim, and some like to ride horseback, and some like to, ski. There are so many different ways to move. And I think it's just so important that you find what you love, because in finding your movement and finding your ability to depend on your body, you find that freedom to bring about whatever it is that you want to bring about in the world. And all of this is really coming to the fore. I mentioned I had that moment, that experience with my husband in Disney World years ago, where I didn't have any kind of comfort in my body. I just got back from a long weekend with my sisters-in-law in Disney World, and I remember going on the new ride Tron this weekend, and it was an awesome experience. I had like a full body catharsis afterward. It felt like I was flying. It felt like this tremendous physical experience. And we got in line to do it again. And in line, we realized that the other ride we had really wanted to do, Tiana's Adventure, it had been down all day, but it came back on. So we decided to leave the line for Tron and run to Tiana. And so in trying to get there to beat the crowds, we ran as best we could without drawing too much attention to be, reprimanded for running in the Disney park. And I remember feeling that running through the park, it was a better catharsis than the roller coaster. That feeling of being able to depend on my body to do that, it was better than any manufactured experience. And I just want that for everyone. I want everyone to know what it feels like to depend on your vessel that way, to know that whatever it is that you want to do, your body can help you do it. And again, for me, it might be different, right? Being able to pick up and run, being able to, when a friend asks if I want to hike Mount Washington in a week, to say, yeah, I can do that. Absolutely. Right. Again, that might not be what everyone wants, but for me, that's my freedom. And it's from this place that I'm able to hold myself taller. I'm able to hold space for other people in a way I wasn't before, to just feel comfortable and at home here in this bag of skin and bones in the world. I just want everyone to know what that's like, because it is magic.